Welcome to the HAF Application Video Guidance. I'm going to be showing you how to complete an application form. So when you click on the link to access the application form, you'll first be prompted to either log into your self account, or if you're new to Notts County Council Services, you'll be prompted to create an account and follow the steps to create an account which you'll be able to use going forwards. I'm just going to use the functionality of logging into an account. So I'm just going to click on this button now. And I'm just going to pop my email address in. And click on login. Okay, so once you're logged in, it will take you through to the application form, and there'll be different tabs that you'll need to complete before submitting the application form. So I'm just going to work my way through and fill this in as we go along. So the first question that we come to, it asks if you are an internal Notts County Council provider or if you're an external provider. So just select the option that's relevant to yourselves. I'm going to go for external for the purpose of this video. If you've already applied with us before and had an approved application, then you will have received a company ID number. So if you have got one of these references, then you will be able to input the reference here, and you'll be able then to retain some information in terms of completing returns down the line and accessing different applications going forwards. If you're completely new to us and you haven't applied before, then you can say I don't have a company ID, and it will let you progress and submit your application without one. Okay, so the most important part before we begin anything else is to just make sure that you click on these two links. So you've got your application guidance. So it's really important that you go through and read all of the information contained within the guidance, and also the grant conditions. Again, make sure before you complete the application that you just read through and complete all of the information that's on here. Okay, once you've done that, you can just click to say that you've read and that you understand and that you've downloaded and retained copies of the above documents. So just work your way through the form. I'm not going to go through each question in lots of detail unless I need to. So I'm just going to work my way through selecting the options. So I'm just going to put some test details in here. Okay, so I'm just working my way through. Okay, contact number. Okay, so what we ask for now is for you to supply any user or admin details. So in terms of registering returns with us on the returns portal. We can allow you to grant access to other people that work within your company. So we just ask that when you complete the application, you provide us with the name of any people or email addresses that you would like to be classed as admin users. Okay, so just submit the details. You can add as many as you want to. And self-serve users. So you have a main admin and then you have the sub-users. So on here you can add as many people as you want to and they will all be granted access to against your company ID. Okay, so once you've had them, you can click the add record button and then it would build a list of all the different admin users that you would like to be added against your account. So once you've added everybody that you want to, you can move on to the next point. So again, just work your way through answering the questions, ensuring that you give as much information as possible within the fields that require further information. Okay. So we do have a save function. So if you at any point need to start an application, but you need to go away and do something else, you can click this save button. And what that will do is it will save the application form at the progress that you've got up to, and it will send an email to the registered email account with a link to reaccess the application form at a later date. So you can use that functionality if you need to. I'm just going to click next and move on to the next tab. Okay. Okay, so just working my way through. On some of the tabs, you will see that there is links to some other web pages where you can get further information and advice if you need to. So just ensure that you do access those links if you do need any further information. Okay. If you do have a copy of a meal planner, we do have an upload function that you can use. So you can upload a copy of the meal planner here if you need to, but you don't have to if you don't have that available. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to click next. And next again. Okay, so policies and procedures. Okay, so now we come to the most important part, really, I suppose, of the application form in terms of just the level of detail that you need to supply. So this is the funding tab. And for this page, this is where you'll be able to add funding information for each venue that you will be using to provide the provision over the holiday period. So you can add multiple venues, you can add multiple holiday provisions, you can apply for it all in one go on this page. So I'm just going to spend a little bit more time and detail going through this page just to make sure that we cover everything that you need. Okay, so on this page here then, the first question is that we're looking for is the venue name. And then the provider at the venue/organisation's name. And then the venue address. Okay. So what we're doing now is we're wanting to add the event dates for Justine Parish Hall. So this is my test venue. So you can add individual dates or you can add consecutive days. So if you're doing a week or you're applying for 2 weeks worth, then you can add all of those dates consecutively. If there is any dates that you aren't doing, then once you've added them, you will be able to go back and just delete any of the days. So if you don't do Saturdays and Sundays, you can just delete the row that you don't need. Or if you don't operate on a Wednesday, you could delete that day. So it's just important at this stage that you just pay attention and make sure that the information that you key in matches exactly what you're wanting to deliver. Okay, so you can also select multiple periods. So if you're wanting to apply for just Easter, you can. If you want to apply for Easter and summer, you can do that. And you can apply for October and Christmas. So you can do annually, you can submit your bid for the whole year, or you can just do the period that's upcoming. It's entirely up to you. But what you'll need to do is select the first one first. So we'll go for Easter. And then once you've added your Easter dates, you'll then need to come back to this question and then move on to summer. So you need to do each one separately. So I'm going to say I'm going to do Easter and consecutive days. So it will give you a reminder of where the Easter dates fall. So you'll just need to use the date calendar just to move on. So I'm going to go for the 3rd, and then we want the start time. So the start time of your session, and then the end time of your session. Okay, we then move on to the age range that the sessions are going to be for, and the age range that they go up to. And then which district does this particular venue cover? So I'm in Hucknall, so we're going for Ashfield for this venue. So then again, in terms of this particular venue and the date available, how many places have you got available? So how many primary places do you have available? How many secondary places do you have available? And if you do cater for any SEND provision places, how many SEND primary places do you have? And how many secondary SEND places do you have available? And if you're offering paid places, how many primary places paid are you offering? And again, the same for secondary. So what that'll do, it will tally your places here. So it's 40 in total. And out of those 40, we've got 30 that are funded places. Okay. So I can click add dates for this venue. And then what it will do, it will automatically take me back to the 4th. So if nothing's changed, we can just Move on and click Add Dates for this venue, and we can repeat the process. If for whatever reason, for any date, you've got a slightly different start or finish time, or the places are a different, there's a different amount of places available, you can edit these, but it will just pre-populate from what you've previously done. So you can just keep building your list, and what you'll see up here is it starts to build the table for you. So we've got so far 3 dates for Easter. So I'm just going to click. Okay, so we'll go up to the top. So you can see we've got the 3rd, the 4th, the 5th, the 6th and the 7th. Okay, so at this point, if I needed to delete a particular day because we've added Wednesday and actually we don't need Wednesday, then you can just click on the red arrow, the red cross, and yes, you want to delete this, and then it will remove it from the table. You can manually add dates if you need to. So if you do need to change anything, again, you can just change a date on there and start the process again. So for now, I'm going to say I've finished adding dates for Justine at Parish Hall. If you do need to use the save function at any point on this page, because it collates the data into the table, you will need to make sure that you add the dates that you've got so far and that you just answer this question. So if you haven't finished adding the dates and you want to save, just make sure you click no to this question, and then you will be able to use the save function and it will save the information that you've put on your table. It's really important that you answer this question before you're using the save function. Okay, if you do want to go back and start building dates for summer, you can go back up and then choose the summer option, and you can just repeat the process. So you can see the date range changed. So I'm just going to put in here a date for July. So start time is still 9 o'clock and 3 o'clock. My age range is the same. I'm still at my venue, so it's still Ashfield. And again, it will retain the information. So unless your places are different, you can just click add dates for this venue. You'll see it's changed it again to the 25th. And if I scroll back up, you'll see that on my table here where it's building it up, we've got the summer dates added. So you just keep going along. If you wanted to then add October, you go up and select October, and similarly for Christmas. It just depends what you're wanting to apply for at the time. So I'm going to say I'm happy with the dates I've submitted, and I have finished adding the dates for Justine Parish Hall. So what that then does, it populates the breakdown of the funding. So it tallies the total places per provision here. It also gives you the breakdown of the funded places. So this is the total funding that you are applying for, and it will either be the annual cost if you're applying for all of the holiday periods, or it's the total cost for the holiday periods that you're applying for. So for me, for example, it's my cost for Easter and summer because that's what I've applied for on this application form. So this is the total funding requested from HAF. And then total income from other sources if you have that from other sources. So my funding total is £8,000, and that's the total amount for Easter and summer. So I'm now breaking down those costings in a bit more detail. So a description for staffing and the breakdown. So then you can just put your figure in here. Same for facilities and the cost against that. And then your equipment, food provision, marketing, and then any other costs or breakdown that you need. Okay, so what it does is it builds your cost here. So we asked for 8,000 up here. That's what we're saying that the total cost is. If your breakdown doesn't add up to the 8,000, then it will flag up and tell you that you've not quite matched the funding. If you see here, look, it tells me that it doesn't match. So I just need to go back and make sure that my breakdown adds up to that total figure of 8,000. Okay, so now we're going to break down actually, so how much out of my 8,000 is for summer and how much is for Easter. So I'm just going to split that up for 4,000 across each one. Okay, so once I'm happy that I've completed this venue, I can complete the venue. And if I scroll up to the top, here is my venue with all of my information. If you want to edit it at any point, you can just click on the little edit button and that will reopen the details here. So if you've made a mistake, you can go in and delete anything off, or you can add a date, whatever you need to do, you can do that here. And then you just scroll to the bottom and just update that record to say that you've made the changes. If you're adding multiple venues, so if you've got another venue that you want to add, then you would just repeat the process for the next venue and add all of the details. And again, you'll start to build a list. So if you've got 5 venues, eventually you would have 5 venues and their information showing in this table here. Once you've completed that, you can click Next and agree. Upload your mandatory documents. So we've got liability insurance, public liability, safeguarding, health and safety policy procedure, risk assessment, and then any other policy procedures or records that you require. Okay. Once you've added those, you can click Next and you'll be approached with our declaration page where you can just submit your application. On submission, you will receive an email just confirming that we've got receipt of the email, and you'll then one of the HAF team will get in contact with you with regards to your application. Okay, thank you for listening.